Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the life of John Oliver, the witty British-American comedian best known as the host of HBO's Last Week Tonight. We'll journey from his early days in England to his rise in America and uncover fun facts about his family, career, and even his lifestyle. Expect a few surprises along the way, like how he once made Time's list of most influential people, or why he's such a big Mets fan. So how did a kid from Birmingham become an Emmy-winning late-night legend on HBO? Get ready for a fun and engaging look at John Oliver's story. Let's jump right in. Early life. John William Oliver was born on April 23, 1977, in Erdington, a suburb of Birmingham, England. He even made a brief appearance on British TV as a child. He played a little boy in the BBC series Bleak House. But mostly he grew up in a comfortable home and spent his childhood in the town of Bedford, where he attended the Mark Rutherford School. It was a creative family. His mom loved music and his dad loved helping others. So John had a bit of an artsy vibe from the start. In school, he even learned to play the viola, an instrument in the violin family. He was also a big football fan as a kid, especially of Liverpool FC. Both his parents had family from that area. Parents. John's parents are Carol and Jim Oliver. His mom, Carol, was a talented music teacher, and his dad, Jim, was a devoted school headmaster and social worker on the side. They both came from the Liverpool area originally, and they instilled a love of learning and humor in their kids. They encouraged young John to try new things, from music lessons to debating on stage. So it's no surprise he grew into a curious and clever young man. Siblings. John is the oldest of 4 children. He's joked about being the bossy older brother of his siblings. He has at least one younger sister, who now lives in Australia, plus a couple of other siblings who mostly stay out of the spotlight. Growing up as the oldest made him quite responsible, but it also gave him great practice entertaining his family with jokes and impressions. Education background. After finishing school, John headed to Cambridge University, where he studied English at Christ College. At Cambridge, he joined the famous Footlights comedy troupe, the same club that launched many British comedians. He performed in their touring shows across the UK, sharpening his comedic chops, and even held the position of vice president in 1997. His fellow Footlights members at the time included future comedy stars like David Mitchell and Richard Ayoade. He graduated in 1998 with his English degree. Professional career. John's career took off step by step. He started with stand-up comedy and radio in the UK, honing a sharp satirical style. He performed at the famous Edinburgh Festival Fringe in 2001 as part of a new comics showcase. He even co-hosted a comedy podcast called The Bugle with Andy Zaltzman, which gained a cult following. He also made TV appearances in the UK, including on the comedy panel show Mock the Week, before heading to America. In 2006, he moved to the US to join The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. As a senior British correspondent, John delivered hilarious news segments from a British perspective. He spent 7 years there, even guest hosting in 2013 when John took a break. And he won 3 Emmy Awards for his writing. He even took a side trip in 2013 to perform stand-up for U.S. troops in Afghanistan on a USO tour. Not long after, HBO offered John his own show. In 2014, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver premiered. It's a weekly satirical news program where John takes deep dives into serious topics, from taxes to voting rights, all with a comedic twist. He has a knack for explaining complex issues in a funny way, and sometimes his segments even influence real-world discussions. Fans call this the John Oliver effect. The show has won about 20 Emmy Awards and a couple Peabody Awards. John even snagged a Grammy Award in 2020 for narrating a comedic children's audiobook. When he's not on Last Week Tonight, John keeps busy with stand-up specials, podcasts, and acting on TV. You might know him as Dr. Duncan on Community. He even lent his voice to animated films like The Lion King, where he played Zazu. He also hosted his own stand-up showcase on Comedy Central for a few years. At the end of the day, his bread and butter is still that news show. His work has earned him widespread acclaim. He even made Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people in 2015. Personal life. John married his wife, Kate Norley, in October 2011. Kate is a U.S. Army veteran who served as a medic in Iraq. They met at a political event in 2008. Together, they have 2 sons. The first, Hudson, was born in late 2015 after a difficult pregnancy, and their second son arrived in 2018. John was raised in the Church of England, but he said he left religion behind in his teen years. He often jokes about being British-born, and in fact, he proudly holds both British and American citizenship. He became a U.S. citizen in 2019. He's also a big sports fan. Many know he roots for the New York Mets, showing he's truly embraced life in the U.S. He's joked that he sometimes still feels like an imposter, as if one day people might realize he's just a regular guy who got lucky. Lifestyle. Off camera, John Oliver is surprisingly down to earth. He and his family live in New York City, where they enjoy normal family routines, like dinner and weekend time together. John has a big net worth. With all that success, John Oliver has done very well financially. As of 2025, his net worth is estimated around $80 million. A big chunk of that comes from his HBO paycheck. He's earned tens of millions per year for hosting Last Week Tonight. He also earns from stand-up voice work and other projects. Despite this, he keeps a relatively low-key lifestyle, not one to parade his wealth. House. In 2017, John and Kate splurged on a New York City penthouse. It cost just under $10 million and is over 3,000 square feet for bedrooms and a big terrace overlooking the skyline and the Hudson River. The building is super luxury, with perks like an indoor pool, a gym, a rock climbing wall, and even a bowling alley. And in true John Oliver fashion, he even used an NYC tax loophole on that purchase. So his annual property taxes are much lower than you'd expect. Cars. We don't hear much about John Oliver's car collection. Pause. He once said a bit about used car dealerships on his show, but in real life, he keeps things simple. Given his New York lifestyle, he probably gets around in something sensible. Maybe an SUV or even just public transit. Let's just say his wheels are more dad van than supercar. Conclusion. And that wraps up our look at John Oliver's life. From a kid in Birmingham with a love for comedy to the globe-trotting journalist and TV host, he's had quite the journey. He's carved a unique niche in comedy. Part journalist, part jester, blending British wit and American late night like no other. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story, give this video a thumbs up, comment below with your favorite John Oliver moment, and share it with your friends. And if you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell for more celebrity biographies. Thanks for watching and see you next time. We can't wait to see what John Oliver does next.